you've had a crazy couple weeks.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the call and getting up here and you pitching in Detroit last week.
Crazy day. My parents hadn't seen me all year, so they were actually in Rochester with me. We were at breakfast. I got a call from our manager up there, Skins, and just, didn't see it coming, wasn't even really thinking anything of it, and it just kind of happened really quickly, and really exciting time for my wife and I, and my parents, and the rest of my family. And then obviously getting into Detroit, it was kind of cool. I had a day. A lot of guys get called up and they kind of pitch that day almost. They get on a flight that morning and then have to end up pitching that night. But I got lucky. I kind of got to spend the day with the team and then kind of get my feet wet a little bit, so to say. And then obviously taking them out on Sunday was really, really special, really cool day for me.
Now getting that extra day, take a deep breath almost, because I'm sure it was so overwhelming. You weren't really, were you expecting the call right away, or because Mejia got hurt and went down?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you got scratched for your start. You were like, all right, I'm going.
Well, so yeah, when he called me, he basically told me, you're not pitching tonight. You're going to pitch in Detroit, and it was just. I really wasn't, man. I tried not to think about that kind of thing this year. I had a lot of things that I needed to improve, and I struggled in the beginning of the year. Was really working on some things, some adjustments that the guys, with the Twins were having me do, and stuck to it, and it ended up working out. The plan kind of fell into place, and I started some pitches for me started to click. My changeup finally kind of started coming along, and my curveball finally, started putting some guys away, and I was having a hard time, putting guys away down there for a long time, and this year, for some reason, just it started to click. I stopped trying to do too much, and it just started to work for me.
Now, playing them tomorrow, you're pitching tomorrow, and you're facing them again. Even when you were in the minor leagues and you maybe faced a team 2 times in a row, but now you're in the pros, what kind of advantage is that for you? I know you got all the information possible on these guys, but there's got to be a different level of preparation when it comes to facing a team 2 times in a row.
Yeah, first of all, you do that a lot in the minor leagues, obviously. there's some leagues where you only got 10 teams, so you're going to face lineups a lot. But obviously, I'm going to go back and look at some film. I'm going to see, what guys are trying to do to me, and where we might have some room in the zone to work against some guys. Obviously, some guys, you're not going to be perfect, and they're going to make adjustments, and you're going to have to probably count for that, in the first inning tomorrow. And we'll get a feel for what they're trying to do, but that's what this game is. You're going to have to figure out in the course of a game, where the adjustments are that you're going to need to make, and the best guys at this game are the guys that are really good at that. So, I'm going to keep an eye on what guys are trying to do against me today, and the guys are going to help me form a plan. Garb and all those guys are going to really make sure I got the right plan of attack, and we'll go over it today.
When it comes to preparation from being in the minors and pitching to now here, now you had your first start, and then you've had the 5 or 6 days to prepare yourself for your next start. What kind of difference is when it comes to that? Is there a real big difference?
Obviously the game's better. Obviously the players here are better. These are the best players in the world. But as far as my, in-game, my pre-start routine, I've tried to really make sure that I focused on continuing to do that and continuing to take care of my body. And then when it comes to the baseball side, you got to respect your opponents, and you got to try to get an edge anywhere you can, and whether that's in film or making sure that you're sticking to what you do best, and making sure that you're executing the game, the game plan. So biggest thing is executing. If I go out there tomorrow and execute, I think we'll be okay, and I'll put my team in a good spot to win. If I don't, then we're gonna have to make some adjustments, and we'll go from there.
Have you always been fast pitcher, tempo-wise? Because your first start, you were going
I don't
fast. That's what we all noticed in the studio. Your game was flying.
Yeah, not necessarily. I like to get the ball back and kind of. I'm not trying to waste a bunch of time. I'd rather get back up there and get ready and go. But it's not that I'm trying to work fast. I think that there were some quick outs there. Some guys made some plays behind me on ground outs, and I just tried to. keep my team, get them back in the dugout as quick as possible. That was the game plan.
And speaking of the ground outs, huge ground ball pitcher yourself, and Gibby was a guy that was huge on that. I mean, up until really this year, he's been striking out. His strikeout per nine are career highs.
Yeah.
So have you kind of worked with Gibby? Because you're almost kind of like the same pitcher in a way.
Yeah, I mean, we have similar stuff. It's cool that he's going to pitch tonight, and I'm going to get to watch how he attacks guys. But we obviously have a little bit of our differences and the way that we attack guys. But absolutely, I mean, he's got a really good sinker, and that's kind of where my kind of repertoire starts is with my sinker. And but yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of things I need to learn from him and how he's put guys away this year. And because I think I'm going to get in some counts, obviously, with the sinker that hopefully the goal is to get 0-1, get 0-2, get 1-2 in those first three pitches, and then go from there. And I think that I can do a better job of executing this time around and making sure that I execute the off speed whenever I'm behind, whenever I'm ahead.
I got some more questions. I'll let you go because I know you want to get back in there. But my second last question is, when it comes to family, you had all your good. How many family members did you have at the Tigers game?
25 to 30. It was a lot.
What about tonight? Oh, tomorrow.
I have some immediate family coming in. I think my parents are thinking about coming in, and some of my siblings. So I'm one of 7 kids, so that's not your average number. When it comes to just your immediate family coming in. But yeah, I mean, I think my parents will probably come in. Obviously a home debut. It's a special time for them as well, and they'll be excited to get in the seats tomorrow.
Now, I did overhear the conversation you had with the trainers over there. Being a diabetic, how has that changed your course of pitching? And I know everyday life is I'm just different than everybody else.
Yeah.
When it comes to playing and on the mound, it's got to be a totally different concept.
Yeah, I mean, I got type 1 diabetes when I was 8 years old. Changed my life, I think, for the better. And it's something that I've lived with for so long that I really know how to prepare myself and take care of my body and make sure that I'm putting myself in a situation that I can be successful. And it's just one more thing that I got to do, throughout the course of a day. And it's almost become second nature now. And I feel like it made me grow up a little bit when I was a little kid. And I'm very thankful that I was kind of presented with that challenge at an early age, because I think it helped me mature a little bit.